everyone, welcome back to my channel. I just finished posting a video or filming a video on Elijah's grade 1 curriculum for this past school year. I finished filming his math curriculum, reading curriculum, and writing curriculum, and that took up a long enough time for a video, so I turned it off right then. And this, my second video, sorry, I've got a bit of a cold, but so this second video is going to be about the rest of his curriculum. I'm just splitting this video into two, if that makes sense. So make sure you go back and watch my other video if you haven't seen that one yet, and let's get going on this year's curriculum, the rest of it, and I will let you know how it all worked for us. We will start with history, and we use the Story of the World, volume 1. We are, as I said in my other video, we're still about 3 weeks away from school ending at the time I filmed this video, so we're doing very well for this book. We are almost done it. We only have, I mean, once you've got like the index and everything at the back, we probably only have like 15 pages left to read, so we're very close to the end. This book is really good. I already ordered the grade 2 Story of the World curriculum. We're definitely continuing on with this curriculum. It is really well explained for young minds. It explains the stories really well. Elijah just sits beside me and just loves listening to it. If I was to say any downsides to it, it is a Christian curriculum, which I am all for. There are a lot of stories of like fables and well-known stories back in the day about other gods and just made up stories that people believed back then about the gods. And so it goes into a lot of detail about it, and it doesn't always, it's like it's talking about things that happen in this day, and then all of a sudden it'll bring up this story and it doesn't say whether it's true or false. And so sometimes, especially for a young mind, the whole like fable versus fantasy, reality versus fantasy is not obvious, I guess. And so I'm saying a lot like, okay, and this is a story that they believed, but we know this story is not true, and anyways, it's just a story they believed. And so anyways, that's the only thing I would really say about this book, but it is really good, and Elijah has thoroughly enjoyed it. Going on to our science curriculum, we did astronomy this year, which was great. Elijah loved this. We skipped a lot of the experiments. I need to be better next year in looking ahead in the book and figuring out what we need to buy in order to have all the equipment for his experiments. This book is a more advanced book. It was great for Elijah in grade 1, but there was a lot of stuff that went way over his head as well. And so some of the experiments were kind of the same. It's like, okay, you wouldn't quite, get that yet. I wouldn't even mind maybe if I did it over again, having like a different book of experiments, just other random things rather than just things that pertain to astronomy, because some of that, like I said, did go over his head. When we were in the planets and everything was making sense to him. He really was understanding it. Now that we're near the end of the book, some of the stuff is a little bit deep, and I've kind of skimmed over a little bit, because when we talked about planets, there were some new words he had to learn, like craters and orbiting and different words like that were new to him. When we're getting into the stars and supernovas and stuff, I feel like elliptical galaxy and a lenticular galaxy, like everything is kind of hard for him to understand. Like, it's not just a few words I have to explain to him. It's all kind of over his head, like the Milky Way being a spiral galaxy, and it gets a little bit deeper into that. And so we've kind of skimmed a little bit at the end because he was just losing interest really fast. But this one I think is really spaced out for the year because we started at the beginning of the year. We are almost done it now. Like I said, we've skimmed just a little bit here at the end. But because it's kind of a deeper book, we don't go far each day like we do maybe 2 or 3 pages every day. Not every day. We only do astronomy twice a week, but we do 2 or 3 pages when we do it. And it's been very well paced, like we're just right at the end of the book now. And so that's been good. That's just enough for him to understand. But anyways, he really understood a lot, and then we'll do it again probably in a couple years and he'll understand more. So anyways, this next school year we're doing Apologia again, and we're going to be doing botany. So I'm looking forward to getting into that book. Next I will show you our geography curriculum. This is the same geography, actually, I guess it wasn't this video. I just did it in my last video, but the same like writers as did our his writing curriculum book, and you can look back at that video to see how we did with that. But this geography book was really good. He finished it, probably a month ago now. He finished it a bit early. And it's just the basics of map reading and like north, south, west, east, it's very just basic stuff, but he really learned a lot about reading maps. Like he would look, let me just find one for you. So here we have one, it's like a map of a amusement park. And so they're asking you like, what's on the north side? Where's the exit? Is it north of the snack shack or is it north of the something like, it's kind of questions like that. I should turn the page so you can actually see what kind of questions he got. So some of them are really easy ones that are, he kind of like rolls his eyes like, duh. Like this one, the map shows a fun park or a petting zoo. And then like just, you enter the park at what end? The north end or the south end of the park? So it's just a lot of basic map reading. It got into a lot of states of the United States of America throughout the book. So like there was a map of Texas, there's a map of Oregon, there's a map of Hawaii, there's a map of Arizona. Like it got into a lot of the states, which is fine. I don't mind him learning the states, but since we are from Canada, I would rather him learn like maybe one state and then learn about Italy or learn about different parts of the world, just because we're not Americans. I don't really think he needs right now to go deep into like American, geography. Sorry about that. My camera just cut out because my memory was full, so I had to go back and delete a few old videos. But anyways, I don't even know exactly where it cut off. All of a sudden, I just noticed it wasn't recording. But I wouldn't mind him learning a little bit more about Canada. And so I'm doing a new curriculum this next year. I had no issues with this, like I said, and we might go back to it in the future. But for next year, we're doing a series, I don't even remember what it's called, like a Canadian geography book. And so I will show that to you once I order it, but I have picked it out. But this was a good basic curriculum. And then last of all, I am going to show you our first language lessons book. Same thing again. I'm happy with a lot of the books we chose for this year, and a lot of them we're going back to again. So first language lessons, this is level 1. We are going back and doing level 2, or going forward and doing level 2 next year when he is in grade 2. So we were happy with this one. He learned a lot of poems, which was a really nice thing about this book. He learned probably 5 or 6 poems. We got to learn a lot of good things. Like he learned the seasons, and he was writing down like the 3 winter months, the 3 spring months, what happens in those seasons. He was learning like pronouns and nouns and verbs, and learning initials and abbreviations. And it's kind of surprised me actually. He learned his address and his phone number. Well, he already knew his phone number, but learned his address and how like the postal code or zip code if you're in the States, like how that works, and proper nouns. Like he just learned a lot. And it's homeschooling, I think, is so amazing because I was reviewing this stuff too. I learned it years and years ago, but some of it was like, oh yeah, proper noun, common noun, like, I don't know, I totally forgotten about that kind of stuff. So even though my son's only in grade 1, this is a good review for me. Sorry, I was just thinking about what I'm saying, thinking like I sound so uneducated, but there's so much that you forget. And so it's nice to go back, but I will just show you a few pages so you can kind of see what's inside the book. Let's see, what's a good page to show you? I'll show you the poem we've just been learning called Mr. Nobody. And so he is learning like what like pronoun to use instead of a noun in different situations, and then we just review stuff. So talking about the seasons here, which he already knew, but we just reviewed that and learned about what the months of the year mean, like what season they are and so on, when to capitalize words, when to not capitalize them, and so on. This book has 100 lessons, I think, right around 100 lessons. We are at the very, very end of it. We're almost done. We did this twice a week, and we did about 2 lessons a day just because they're really short. So those 2 days we did 2 lessons. So it'd be like basically like doing 5 days a week or 4 days a week, 1 lesson a day. You would complete this book, and that was a good one. Elijah, I don't know if I'd say he enjoys it. He doesn't like writing work really, but he loves the stuff where he can just sit beside me and I can ask him questions. He likes to just talk and not so much have book work, but he did have a bit of book work with this, but he did enjoy this book too. I think it's just getting to the school year, and so when I'm thinking about what he enjoys right now, I'm like, I think everything's just like, I'm done, it's getting warm outside, I'm just ready for it to be summer. But anyways, so that is our grade 1 curriculum review. So once again, if you didn't watch my last video on the other 3 subjects, I hope you'll go back and watch that one. I'll probably have linked it up here, put it in the iCards, put it in the description or something, but check that out as well. Then next I'm going to film a review for my daughter's curriculum. She was in junior kindergarten, this pre-K, whatever you want to call it, K4. There's so many different words for it. I don't even quite know what most people call it. Let me know in the comments below if you want. But I'm going to film that video next, reviewing her curriculum. And then again, be on the lookout because I'm going to have curriculum videos for what's coming out, for what I'm purchasing for this next school year, my plans for the next school year, and all that fun stuff. And I hope you'll subscribe to my channel if you're not, because you will see all those videos. Wow, this is getting long too. My goodness, I just keep rambling. Thank you for watching this video and for liking it. And I hope I'll see you in my next video. Bye.